Hey, everybody. We've been getting a bunch of questions from the members of our school community. If you're not familiar with it, it's called the AEO Collective. You can join using the link below. Right now, I believe we're offering free 30-minute consultations for all new members. So check that out. Okay, so we'll just go through these questions, answer them briefly, but with as much detail as possible. First one is, what are the differences between SEO and AEO? The major differences. To answer it quickly, I think the biggest difference is offsite versus onsite. With SEO, it was a lot to do with your metadata, onsite optimization stuff, how quickly your pages load, H1 through H6 tags, etc., schema, and what you said and what you wrote in your published content, both static URL content and blog content. Whereas to build authority with the LLMs, it's more off-page than anything. They want to see what others are saying about you. So it's brand exposure and it's brand sentiment on third-party social media platforms, industry-relevant directories and forums, even podcast content transcribed from audio to written, your inclusion within certain knowledge graphs, Reddit Quora, Wikipedia, all these sources that ChatGPT and Perplexity love. It's more about being there and having a solid brand awareness and positive sentiment on those channels. Okay, what are the top ranking factors in AEO? Just like with SEO, I'd say content is king. Publishing content that is authoritative, but also resonates with the LLMs in a certain way. So FAQs, Q&As, bullet points, short question and answer so you qualify for featured snippets, how-to guides, step-by-steps, structuring a variety of types of data that make it very clear to the LLMs the questions that you're answering or the problems that you're solving. Probably number one. Number two is structuring that data appropriately so that the LLMs can understand it and understand everything about your company and your brand through your published content, but also extending to third-party platforms. We go more about that in the AEO Collective. I'd say number three is building up a level of authority through multiple sources. So this doesn't necessarily mean domain authority or domain rating, but showing positive activity around published content on the external platforms and showing responses and consistent activity to those to comments and reviews, etc. I'd say those are top three. Can small businesses compete with big brands in AI search results? Absolutely, yes. This is probably the number one thing that makes AEO such an exciting opportunity for digital marketers today. It's a level playing field, and it's a level playing field for the first time in decades, literally. Google Top 10, they've been set in stone for the most part, especially in competitive niches of business, especially for smaller, newer companies or newer websites with little existing DA and limitations to their marketing budgets. It's been very hard to crack into the top 10 of Google to the point where we've seen a ton of failed attempts. I'm sure you out there, if you've invested into SEO, you've experienced some level of frustration. The data collection we've been doing for the past 10 months or so shows one of the things we look at is DA comparison to the top ranking branded answers within ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini, along with current Google rank for the specific query, along with total amount of organic traffic volume. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. A lot of times we'll have sites showing up as branded answers often that are not even within the top 100 of Google organic for that search term. They might have low DA, they might have very little organic traffic volume, but they're resonating with the LLMs. So to answer the question simply, yes, huge opportunity, wide open playing field, small businesses can compete. Are there AEO analytics or monitoring tools available yet? Yes, there are. We're in the process of forming a relationship with one, the one that we think is leading the way. We'll probably make an announcement on that somewhat soon. We're just doing some extra due diligence and making sure that the data that they're providing is legitimate and accurate. There are still limitations. It's not a fully transparent look to determine how profitable AI traffic might be overall, but it's a start. And like I said, we'll have some announcements on that coming up soon. How will AI search replace traditional Google search? I don't think it ever will. Google's got deep pockets. It's entrenched as being still, by volume, the number one search channel on the planet. And they're investing into AI through overviews and through Gemini, etc. I think it's just a matter of how organic traffic as a whole through all the different platforms are going to transform and shift over the next few years. And keep in mind, coming up right behind AI is quantum computing and all that's involved in there, and what's going to happen in changing the landscape of not only search traffic, but our entire experiences online. It's going to be interesting to see what direction that goes into. Will optimizing for AI search engines future-proof my business? Going back to the last answer, I'm relying on mentors that I have in the industry and their opinions on this to state this answer. I think it future-proofs your business for years to come, several years, not into perpetuity because of quantum computing, other changes that are going to be coming. I think down the road, a fair amount, we'll see some massive changes in everything relevant to search and the online experience in general. But for the next several years, yes, you will future-proof your business. What if AI misunderstands my business? Don't think that's possible as long as you're doing the things you need to do, like structured data, schema. You're publishing content that's relevant to your visitors, and you're trying to help and provide answers to questions and solutions to problems. And as long as the content you publish, both on your site and off, are representing your company, your brand, like mission statement, etc., AI will understand you and accurately portray you. Does AI pull answers from social media, videos, or just websites? We have more of this in our data collection section in the AEO Collective that shows the multiple types of URLs they're referencing as research citations. And it's really interesting because over the past 10 months or so, the amount of times the LLMs, ChatGPT and Perplexity specifically, were running new search to find newly indexed content in order to come up with their answers versus how many times they relied on what was already existing, it's gone up significantly. It was around 60% when this first started being tested. Today, it's more like 80 to 90%. So you're starting to see newer URLs, whereas previously, if they were relying on existing data, you're referencing 2 or 3 year old blog posts or forum posts. Nowadays, it's much, much newer. So it's actually become a relevant strategy to build your brand or your site up as authoritative enough that you're being used as a research citation, which also means you will be mentioned as branded answers and allows for marketing opportunities with the content you publish because you know it's consistently being spidered by the LLMs. I hope I answered the question there. I might have gotten off topic. I apologize if I did. What kind of schema markup or structured data do I need? First of all, I'm the last guy to talk about it. I'm not good with the technical part of structuring data appropriately, but there's a lot of information within the AEO Collective on it. And this is actually an idea to have a schema expert come on maybe and talk about this. How much does link building matter for AEO? That's a good question. From what we found so far, from what we believe today, link building still plays a role. However, it's much less volume, much more targeted, relevant sites with specific anchor text that might be a little more long tail than previously. And I should make the point that it's very much secondary to content production. I think with link building, the greatest benefit is to build up the authority of newly published content with sites that the LLMs would additionally reference as a research citation. Those kinds of links are very difficult to establish. So second best are looking at all the metrics of the site, not just DADR, but how much organic traffic are they attracting? What's their referring domain count? What keywords are they ranking for specifically in Google, determining their overall authority, which doesn't exactly translate to LLMs, but is a signal. Do they have social media links pointing to them? Do they say on their website that they accept guest post content or sell guest post content? All of these small things matter more for AEO than they do for standard Google rankings as far as link building goes. Who can benefit from AEO? Anybody, any business, any person that could benefit from attracting relevant organic search traffic. Small business owners, SMBs, service providers, plumbers, electricians, anything localized, enterprise lead gen type companies like addiction treatment centers, personal injury attorneys, SaaS platforms, definitely e-commerce brands. I mean, it's just any business that could use qualified, targeted organic traffic and can convert that into revenue of some sort can benefit from AEO. It's just another source of organic traffic that, oh, by the way, is highly converting, currently converting at a 3 to 5 times greater rate than Google search traffic. And here's the other question. Why is AI traffic converting at a higher rate than Google traffic? Yeah, my thought process on this is, and this is just my opinion, but Google is laying out, by listing its top organic rankings, it's laying out the sites that you need in order to do your own research, in order to come up with your own answer. AI is doing the research for you and providing the answer directly. And right now, people trust it. More and more people are trusting ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, etc., to come up with the answer for them. People are lazy. I'm lazy. I mean, it's why drive-thrus exist. They want the answers, they want it fast, but they want it from resources they trust. And so far, AI has done a great job as a whole in building that trust with users, which is why I think when someone is much more bottom funnel intent driven, they rely on ChatGPT over Google. And they're converting at a higher rate. Is AEO replacing SEO? We kind of just went over this, I believe. No, I don't think it'll ever replace Google search traffic, but it is an additional resource, and the playing field is much more wide open. What kind of ROI can businesses expect from AEO? Unfortunately, that's impossible to predict or measure, just as it is with SEO. But with AEO, we even have less KPIs to focus on initially. It's harder to determine quote-unquote rankings. We don't know if we're in spot 21 for a specific search term or if we're in spot 2. We have less visibility into overall search volume for specific queries. We don't have Google Keyword Planner, for instance, where we can check search volume. And we don't know what the conversion rates are going to be exactly from that traffic into your specific funnel or into your specific offer or to your specific product pages. So it's impossible to say, but the best way to view it is it's just another high quality source of organic traffic that if you can capture before your competitors do, gives you a significant leg up. Measuring the exact dollar to dollar profitability is something that I'm sure we'll be able to do fairly soon, but impossible to predict.